Hello guys, welcome back. Feels like it's been ages since I live streamed.
Huh?
I'm doing good. Before anyone comments on the bags under my eyes, I promise I'm not that tired this time.
What did he say?
It's kind of just a condition. Someone said the new update is very cool. Good, because today basically I thought we could kind of chat about 1.8. It might be a bit of a repeat of some of the stuff from there, but there is some new things as well. And then I thought I could sort of play SCR for a little bit and show you some things, and I might hop into a live server as well and give some people the You Met BanTech badge. BanTech has got the SCR trim, yes. I do have a good hoodie as well, which I'll show at some point in another stream. But yeah, the team always get mad at me because I always wear BanTech merch, like my beanie that I've got on. So I thought I'd rep the SCR shirt today. Let's just have a quick look at the update log for 1.8, just because it's quite massive. Now this is like the best update that we've had in terms of metrics by a long shot, which is really, really good. So I just thought we could kind of chat about why that is. So obviously we had loads of station upgrades, which were nothing to do with me, but there was a lot of overhauls of stations, a lot of overhauls of like the depots and sidings, and a couple new trains and things like that. I did manage to finally fix the 755/3 issue. Like everything, it turned out to be the tiniest little bug that caused it, that was really obvious afterwards, but you know, took a year of going back and looking at it again and again. So yeah. And programming performance, that's the bit that I was most interested in with 1.8, because that I think really drove the numbers in terms of what we got, because loads more people are playing on mobile, loads more people are playing on tablet, and they're playing for longer and they're not crashing as much. So a lot of the stuff in this kind of section here is what did that. But I mean, I'll just show you kind of the statistics for the game. I know it's boring, charts and stuff, but this is mobile and tablet players. And you can see it's kind of just generally trended upwards, particularly since the update, which was around here. And if we look at like visit length, you can see all of them step increased, but in particular, like mobile and tablet just had this like huge increase, like more, is that around double? Yeah, like more than double, which is epic. So I think, like I say, most of that is because we're currently not filtered out of any sorts, which we were before, for like loads of different iPads and iPhones and stuff. But we added loads of other stuff as well. We've got the prompt-based seating, which you guys might have seen in the prototyping center, which is now obviously live in the game. We're tweaking that. We've got a couple bits and pieces to try and make that a bit more reliable for different height characters, but that's pretty cool. And just a whole new signaling system, which is, you know, we put it in place so that we could do training 2.0 for signaling. Cool, and yeah, we changed kind of some things to do with the way that the signaler interface works as well, so I'll show you that because I know that not everyone has signaling. I'll load it up in a private server first of all before you all get excited and try and join. Where's my join button? Where's my join button? Okay, I won't load up in a private server then. That is so strange. Has anyone had this bug with private servers? Because this is quite sad. Alright, well I'll join Matty's one, I hope you won't mind. I don't know why I can't join my own server, but there you go. So, you'll see once it gets to this point and starts loading stuff, if you played before 1.8, you'll know that it would take minutes for a new server, and it would take quite a long time for an existing one. Once this is ready, it should only be like a few seconds, which is quite different to what it was before. And yeah, basically what we did was just kind of ditch all the preloading because it got to the point where we had that many stations and that many trains that preloading it all at once just wasn't good. It would crash people if they didn't have enough memory, and it would just take too long, like to load basically. In 3 or 4 minutes of waiting for a server to set up, people would just leave. So we wanted to make sure it was quick. We wanted to make sure that mobile devices could do it with very limited memory. And as you can see, I'm in the game. And if this was 1.7, we'd still be on the loading screen for quite a bit longer. So obviously you saw that it loaded pretty quickly, which is cool. What else do we have? I'll show you the signaling. How do you get to the director role when the menu is only supervisor? So that supervisor button gives us like the appropriate role, whether it's supervisor, manager, or director. So I can't actually get into the supervisor role in the game. It puts me in the director one. Someone tagged Frosted and said fix the bugs. Yeah, to be fair, I will be sharing a bit more of the programming and stuff with my developers because I don't have time with a full-time job to kind of do as much as I could do before. Cool, so this is the signaling interface if you've not seen it before. This is zone A, which is the kind of the Stepford zone. It's everything within kind of this turquoise boundary. But I just wanted to show you some differences. And first of all is this like auto thing at the bottom. And when I set different states, it kind of has my manually selected state and my automatic state. And that's something new for signaling, which is really, really cool. It allows signalers to know what the signal would be if it was in an automatic state. In this case, it would be proceed, and that allows them to do some cool stuff. And basically, like the most restrictive of these, like if the auto state would be danger and the signaler selected proceed, it will do danger until the automatic state kind of moves towards proceed, which is cool. And you've kind of got it on the signaler controls here as well. I fixed some of the cameras, I think, for the platforms, which is pretty cool, so we can kind of see platforms now, as well as just signals. But there are a couple bugs, as people have pointed out in the chat, with the signaling things, so we will be fixing those pretty shortly because they do affect people's games. It's fixed by people despawning, like whoever it is that it thinks is in the block, if they despawn it fixes it. But so that's kind of the signal interface. I won't go into like tons and tons of detail. You'll also notice the signals are like a new model as well. They're like a new mesh. So these have been upgraded. They look different, which is cool. We do have a couple more things, to be fair, with signals, which I might show you in studio as well. Didn't quite manage to squeeze into 1.8, but it's coming soon. BanTech shows something cool. I'm trying. Cool, here's one. So with the new upgraded meshes for signals, we have feathers. We can have ones that go to the left, ones that go to the right, ones that go in both directions. And we also have ones with like a route indicator on them. I think that's what it's called. So yeah, we've got these route indicators and we can show different numbers on them. So if I do this, it now says 15, for example. And so that can be used, for example, at Lynn here to show you which platform you're going to end up at before you get there, because one of the benefits of the new signaling system with 1.8 is that we know where you're going to go before you've passed the signal. And that's why we can do feathers, that's why we can do route indicators. Again, that's not why I created the system, but it's like a super useful side benefit that lets us do cool stuff like this. And we can also show letters on it. So if there were, for example, different lines, like there was an A line, a B line, a C line, or whatever, you could show that on there as well, which is very cool. What else did we have on the log as well to talk about? New announcements. I actually really like the new announcements. Not the announcements themselves, but like the new speaker system. So it depends if you have stereo speakers / headphones, if you even play SCR with the sound on. But you'll notice these speakers kind of around the map. And essentially the sound now actually comes from these. Before we kind of guessed where we should make sound come from, based on like the platform boards and the concourse boards, and that was just not ideal. Some stations have like a ridiculous number of platform boards, and also they tend to be clustered like towards this end of the platform, and there might be situations where we want to have like more speakers further down the platform. So for example, you wouldn't be able to have sound coming from here, it would be coming from the platform board all the way over there. And so people this end of the platform either wouldn't hear it, or we'd have to make it so loud that your ears would be blown off if you were stood too close to some of the boards up there. So we've added those. We can get more control over kind of the 3D sound, make it a bit more immersive. Is the announcer from real life? Yeah, so all of our announcers that we've got in the game now are like actual voice actors. And I think most, if not all of them, have actually done announcements for like actual trains. So depending on which networks you travel on, you'll probably hear their voice. Can I have infinite points? I'm afraid not. Speaking of points though, my goodness, loads of people bought points to unlock the Pacer. Like, I didn't know so many people wanted to to drive the Pacer, but there you go. The doors on that Pacer, in fact, let me spawn the Pacer because we got to look at the doors. It took far too long for us not to appreciate the doors. The doors are great, good. Only compliments about the doors, please. Do you know why people are in love with the Pacer and commuters hate it? No, all I know is that it looks like a bus and has bus doors. Oh my goodness, I was looking at chat. I have overshot. Yeah, just look at these. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at the folding. Amazing. Let's watch them close. Oh. The classic bug where it flicks closed first. Oh, they're good doors. They're good doors. Entering the station very quickly. Oh no. Billy the Pizza has joined my server. And another overshoot. Look at that. Even triggered the signal. Except for these depot causes lag. If you are experiencing lag, just try reducing your Roblox graphics quality to 9. So like one of the things with the new system, the new streaming system, so we switched to streaming enabled, which if you don't know what it means, it doesn't really matter, but it loads stuff in and it never loads them out unless you reach the limit of your memory on your device, your RAM. And what that means is that if you're driving around the map and you've got a lot of RAM, stuff in the distance will still be in memory and it will still kind of try to render those. Whereas if you drop your graphics quality to 9 instead of 10, if you are on manual, it will like limit how far it will draw away from you. And the lower you go, the more it limits it. So it's worth playing around with that if you do experience lag in some places. I'm gonna try one last time for this up and I say, what do you think about giving specific creators their own codes? Yeah, so we actually thought about codes for like influencers and creators and stuff at one point. It's not like massive high priority, just because there's like lots and lots of other important stuff to be getting on with. I see a Billy the Pet. But it is something that we kind of have provisions for and just haven't yet utilized. We can also kind of track performance on some promo codes and stuff like that. So we'll use that at some point, but it's not like huge priority. We have enough players to cause me enough problems at the moment. Will any new badges get added? New badges. I kind of want to redo all the badges, not only like the graphics for the current badges, because obviously they're massively out of date, but also we want to make some new badges. I think that would be cool. Let me know actually what kind of badges you think the game should have. What do we have at the moment? We have like how long you've been playing for, and we have the different operators, and we have meeting us. Let me know what you think in terms of badges. 5-year badge. We'll see. Every train badge. That's cool actually, yeah. If you've like unlocked every train, if you've unlocked every route, badges for that sort of thing. I think as we do more with the scenery, we'll add more exploration badges. Like right now, there's still areas where like not all the roads are joined up and not all the pavements are joined up and things like that. I think it'd be really cool if we kind of joined all of that together. Cool. Right, let's join a live game. Let's do it. Someone said, BanTech, you look a bit tired. I covered this at the start, man. You should have been here. I promise I'm not that tired this time. Right. Well, I'll go and pretend to be a signaller, but dear how. So, apologies to anyone in the Stepford zone. Run robots update so you can't commit. Hello! Who is this?
Huh?
Random signaler. Cool. So yeah, if you've not done any signaling, this is kind of what it looks like. This is a train that is on time. And you can do things like set signals like this, and then when they kind of come to it, they'll obviously have to stop. So yeah, you can see it on the camera like this, which is pretty cool. An on-time train, unbelievable. Tell me about it. Do you think James Street Central will come out in 1.8.2? It probably won't come out in a patch, so I'd say no. I think it's mostly trains and like bug fixes and stuff that will come out in like 0.2, 0.3, like the patches. Cool. So I don't think this guy even needs to like actually load here, so sorry. This is why I'm a terrible signaler. I'm just messing around. So you have like some signals that aren't controllable and some signals that are. Usually ones that like conflict like this are the controllable ones. And some of them stay, like when they go to danger, the manual state kind of stays there and stuff, which is cool. Signaling looks boring. Well, good job you don't have to do it. You and the developer should add a diversion route for trains, example, Coxie closed. So we're gonna add stuff soon. I mean, it's been on the roadmap for a little while. It's not like huge priority, but disruption events. So things like trains breaking down, things like lines being blocked and stuff. And we'll start looking at ways to kind of divert people around stuff, which is pretty cool. Ooh, I got a guard. 444 is annoying as well. Like, why do they have single doors? I had to create a new animation for that one as well.
We will shortly be arriving at Whitefield Leader.
And your robots chat as well? Absolutely not. Oh my goodness. I'm distracted enough with 2 chats, I don't need the 3rd one. Look at that. Beautiful stopping. Amazing. Perfect. That's exactly how it should be done. This is why they should use me for trainings. The scenery's all changed since I last like properly played the game. So I'm not used to the distances between the stations now. There you go, see, that one was alright. No, probably not. Will the 465 sounds ever get fixed? So I mentioned earlier about Sam joining the team, and basically we're going to, as well as him upgrading some of the current sounds with the current system, trains like the 465 just aren't well suited to the way the current system works, and so we kind of need to create the new system. But to do that, we need a lot more sounds and need to do a lot more recordings for stuff, and so. Nice. I got an emergency brake. So yeah, we're basically just going to go and get a lot more sounds and kind of map out a bunch of graphs and a bunch of boring stuff of like how the sounds change depending on speed and like how much throttle is applied and that sort of thing. And then 5 coaches, that's that one. I think that's the AWS bug it is. And then yeah, once we've got some more sounds and once we can actually kind of design how the new sound system should work, then we can do the 465 and every other train as well. Like the 465's the worst probably, but there's other trains that aren't as accurate as they could be. Is Charlie a train driver in real life? No, he's not. That's why we created this virtual world, so that we can drive trains without having to drive them in real life. Oh, another beautiful stop. What headphones do I have? That is a good question.
We will shortly be arriving at
BT990 Pro? I think they're Beyerdynamic. I'm going to overshoot the station for that. Good God. I just ignore them now.
We will shortly be arriving.
Are you planning on making longer trains? Oh my goodness, another overshoot. That one was bad. That one was very bad. I'll be lucky if any doors actually open. People asking, are we making longer trains? Yeah, so something that we want to do, and improving performance obviously helps, is we want to try out some different configurations of trains, because people want some sort of excitement, some different configurations. You're now worse than Charlie. Yeah, so we're kind of going to try out some different things. I can't guarantee any particular lengths or that there will be any longer ones, but I think we're going to try stuff. Someone said try slow down. I would if I was paying attention, but I'm just not good at the multitasking. Will there be NPC passengers? So we've answered this a few times in a few different like Q&As and stuff. Generally, NPCs are not like great if you've already got a lot of load on the server and a lot of load on clients, and SCR has both. So generally we kind of avoiding NPCs and AIs and stuff. We're going to use AI trains in the signaler training, but they'll be like virtual trains that don't actually physically exist. But generally, like, no. What I would like to do instead of NPC passengers is actually just be able to increase the like number of people we can have on the game at once, like from 40 to something higher. But it just causes problems if everyone wants to drive at once.
Due to a short platform, the doors in the rear coach will not open at this station. Forward to leave the train.
See, that's a sort of decent stop. Mesh the 508. We'll be meshing all the trains. I think 1.8 kind of proves that if we improve performance, we get like crazy increases in the number of players, and the number of like how long they play for, how much they spend in the game, all of that sort of stuff. So it's very much in our interest to improve the performance. And one of those is meshing all the trains. Small suggestion, if you had a route a lot of one type of train, it suggests you pick another train to increase variety. Yeah, so one thing we wanted to do, and will do in the future, I kind of want to create the new UI for it first, is selecting routes and selecting like places to start with a physical map. Not a physical map, but like an accurate map. And that map will tell you kind of this area is busy, this area is not busy, and that will help people kind of pick areas that aren't currently like super busy. Or if they want somewhere super busy, say you're spawning as a dispatcher or a guard or something and you want somewhere busy, then you can pick somewhere busy. So we'll be adding that like when we redo the UI. Where should I be a passenger? I suppose Stepford Central is kind of the obvious choice, isn't it? Someone asked what's my in real life job. So I'm doing software development for a bespoke software development company, and basically when other companies try and make stuff and then fail because it's pretty complicated, they come to our company and pay us a bunch of money, and then we solve their problems. Solving the unsolvable and making cool stuff. So whether it's apps, websites, like a bunch of complicated data stuff, whatever it is, we'll do it. Would it be possible to fix the mobile crashes? At some point when spawning it lags out and crashes. So I mentioned earlier that we fixed a lot of mobile crashes. Loads more people are playing on mobile and tablet than before, and they're staying way longer. We've more than doubled the playtime on mobile and tablet, which is awesome. But I think some devices will still struggle. All I can recommend is maybe like lowering your Roblox graphics settings, because that does have a bit of an impact. And if that still doesn't work, then I suppose just wait for further and further improvements. There's not like one thing that's causing you to crash necessarily. And memory is one of them things that's quite hard to reduce because there's a lot of different aspects. A semaphore signal's coming. I don't think there's any plans to have semaphore signals anywhere. I think it would cause me a lot of problems with the signaling system. Could the passenger role be improved? I think there's lots of things that we can do for the passenger role, like making the ticket machines like do something, making the ticket barriers do some stuff, making a bit more excitement when you're on the train. There is some stuff off game that we're doing that will kind of be really cool to have in companion with the game, that will kind of add a new element. and I think that'll make it a bit more interesting being a passenger as well. Things like kind of planning your routes, like I want to go from this station to this station, and maybe you've got a couple changes along the way. I think that'd be pretty cool. Someone asked, do I have a dog? I do. I have a lovely greyhound called Robin, but she's very grumpy when she's tired, so she probably won't come and say hello. Will trains brake instead of randomly stopping when you spad? So the reason why they stop so quickly is because if we did like actual brakes, and you're going like really fast, right now you don't get the spad until you actually reach the signal, and slowing down from like 125 when you hit a signal would probably put you over most of the junctions and stuff, just because like the map is like scaled down. Like obviously it doesn't take 30 seconds to go between a station normally, but it does in our game just because of the scale, which means that signals have to be pretty close to junctions, and so we have to stop you very quickly to stop you from colliding with other trains. Not that they actually collide, but it just looks weird if one goes through another. Right, well, I've arrived at my destination apparently, and yeah, just try and get through all these people. Excuse me, pardon me, let me through, excuse me, thank you very much. So, ooh, hit your head on a sign, my non-existent head. Cool, so I'll probably end the stream kind of there. I think I've answered like lots of cool questions and shown you some cool stuff. Hope you've enjoyed it. But until then, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.